President Trump acquitted again. The New York State of crap. And cancel culture to the max. I'm Yo Grabba Gabba. This is the Modern Monologue. I'm Yo Grabba Gabba. Welcome to the Modern Monologue. This is episode 5, recording here early March of 2019. So, I wanted to start off here with a few things. Obviously, it's been a little bit since we recorded. Obviously, I had a birthday and had some fun with that. And then I did plan on recording middle of last week, around this time last week, and I had some work commitments come up that I couldn't avoid. So, fortunately, I'm recording a little bit later than I would have liked, but I'm here now and I'm ready to start the recording and go over a few things. There's some news for this week and everything else. There's so many. I could do an episode every single day, so it's hard. It's gonna be hard to kind of cram all what I want to say into a short, concise time, but I'm going to do my best. So, like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Road Productions. It's Pavement Road Productions on Facebook. You can email the show directly, pavementroadproductions@gmail.com, and like our YouTube channel, YouTube is Pavement Road Productions on YouTube as well. So we can get all the fun stuff. Obviously, once there's more stuff to record, whether there's videos or other audio recordings about our favorite TV shows and whatnot, we definitely can get that out. But obviously now there's a lot going on in the world, not a lot on TV, so we're going to talk about the happenings here in the world. Before I do, obviously it's been a little bit since I recorded, actually around my birthday or so, when Rush Limbaugh passed away. So I do want to take a moment here and talk about that. Obviously Rush was an icon, obviously one of my heroes. Obviously I wouldn't be doing any of this right now if it wasn't for him paving the way for us. He definitely got me through college. Going to college, starting college around 2008 when Obama got elected, and I remember going into my the cafeteria at the school, and it was community college, and they had the inauguration on TV, and there was people walking around passing out campaign buttons, for Obama, how great and wonderful it was that he got elected. And I took the campaign button and I just gave it back to the person who gave it to me. And they looked at me like, "What? You don't want this? Why don't you want this? This is historic." I said, "I guess, but I'm not looking forward to the next 4 or 8, in this case 8 years." And I ran out of the classroom and I went home. I went in to my car and turned on the radio, and Rush was on, and he was talking about how he hoped that Obama failed to destroy the country. And the sentiment felt true. And looking back, I mean, it certainly was a rough 8 years for our country. It was, it had nothing to do with Obama's race. Obama being the first African American president or anything like that had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with his policies. And he really caused a lot of the problems we're seeing today. And so Rush being there helped me keep my sanity. Somebody who sees the world the way I do. In college, especially going to school for journalism, media. There's a reason I'm not a journalist right now. Obviously, journalism is dead and buried at this point. But Rush kind of gave me that some hope for the future and his optimism, and he's definitely gonna be missed. He did so much for us, and I think Tommy Lauren said it. Thanks for everything, Rush. You rest. We got this. We'll take it from here. And I know Rush always say he'd joke and joke around about how he had talent on loan from God, and how he had to tie half his brain out behind his back just to make it fair. I know Mark Stein, fill-in guest for him often. He said that Rush had talent on loan from God, and now the talent is returned to God. I thought that was really awesome. So thanks for all the memories, Rush. Thanks for getting us through the difficult times, and for giving us hope for the future that that we weren't always going to be suffering in the totalitarian and the authoritarian regime that was Obama, and that people still could think the way we think and see the world the way we see it, and just because we were told that our opinion isn't important, that we still had a right to say it. And so thank you for that, Rush. Thank you for getting us through that, and God bless, and rest in peace. So to transition, I guess nobody's really a transition, but I do want to go ahead and talk about a couple things that have happened since we last spoke. Obviously, Trump impeachment. He was acquitted once again in the Senate. They voted that I think all the Democrats voted that impeaching him after their no longer president is constitutional. I definitely don't agree. I think a couple of Republicans joined on that as well, that it is constitutional. But the the majority of the Senate voted to impeach because there was a Democrat majority and 7 Republicans joined up as well. But obviously they needed a 2/3 majority to be a conviction. So even though the majority did vote, it was not 2/3 majority. They needed another, I think it was, they needed another 9 senators to switch their vote. And voting to impeach somebody after they're no longer president is definitely not a good use of people's time. I mean, why are you impeaching somebody who's no longer president? That's just silly. It's just stupid. And then not only that, of course, they're saying he incited violence. Well, I mean, I think Maxine Waters saying, what Maxine Waters said over the summer about getting in people's faces when they're going to eat dinner and make them feel uncomfortable. That is pretty. I mean, they went out and attacked Rand Paul and his family while they're at dinner. Was that incitement? It was just absurd. There was nothing even on this. There wasn't even anything on the service level to impeach, and it's not even constitutional to impeach a sitting president, no longer a sitting president, a former president. You can't impeach a private citizen. I should impeach. You listener. I can impeach you. You can impeach me. It makes no sense. He said, saying he incited violence. I mean, it's just not true, and there's no evidence to that. But who cares? Evidence doesn't matter. The Constitution is being shredded on a daily basis here by the Obama administration anyway, or by Obama 3.0, Obama, by the Biden administration, who's basically an extension of the Obama administration. Obama has shredded the Constitution too, and we barely survived that 8 years, and now we have Biden, who's just has no idea what he's doing. But to say Trump incited violence, incited a riot, it's silly. It makes no sense, and there's no evidence to that. And they could provide evidence. It's all just about saying, hey, if you vote against impeaching, then you are for rioting, and you are anti the country. And it's just silly. I believe in Star Wars they say only the dark side deals in absolutes, and I agree. I mean, you can't say that we are right and you are evil. If we are right and if you disagree, you're evil. That's just like, I mean, it's you can't. There's no room for negotiation, and it's not unifying anybody. Having all that hate being spewed. So Trump acquitted again. Obviously, we went over it kind of a lot more on the last show, but there was no evidence that he incited anything. The riot started before the speech. It was planned way before the speech, and just because he says "go fight for your country," every politician ever has said that. So that's just silly. So obviously he was acquitted again. He's 0-2. They tried to impeach him twice, couldn't get him either time. Basically impeached him twice in about a year's time, and they couldn't get him either time. And it's silly. The only reason they were trying to impeach a former president is that they don't want him to run again. But ultimately, it's up to the people to decide that. If Richard Nixon was still alive and the people wanted to vote for Richard Nixon again, that's their right. Who gives these people a right to say who can and can't be voted for? Just silly, just nonsense. And they're trying to say that if you're a right wing, or if you don't agree with everything Joe Biden does, and you incite the riot, you're on the side of the rioters, and that's, I mean, how many times do you have to say that you don't think the rioting was good? How many times do you have to say that? It's agree with everything we say, or you're evil, and it's just that. I mean, that's not a good way. That's not a way to let unify a country to live. Anyways, so let's move on to the other big topic right now: New York State. So Andrew Cuomo, the great Andrew Cuomo of New York State, Governor Cuomo, he was the gold standard. The Biden administration said he's a gold standard. The way he's handling COVID, he is the bee's knees. He is the greatest thing since and including sliced bread. He is God's gift to governors everywhere. He's the highest paid governor of all time, so he should be, I guess. It's it's like saying you were the number one draft pick in the NFL and you're a good player. Well, you'd hope, right? You'd hope you're the highest paid player. So saying, who's kind of good at football? Tom Brady. Well, it's kind of funny because he's the highest paid governor of all time. So one would think he'd be good at his job. He did give himself another raise. He wrote a book on how he handled COVID and how he saved COVID and leadership during COVID, and he saved all these lives. Turns out, not quite. Turns out he lied about how many people died. He fudged numbers to make it look like people weren't dying in nursing homes after he sent COVID positive people back to nursing homes, and he said he was afraid that he was going to get investigated and indicted. And so his staffer lied, and his staffer said that he lied and covered it up because he was afraid of a criminal prosecution for nursing home deaths. He said 9,000 people died in nursing homes, and more like 15,000 people died in nursing homes. And he lied and fudged and made it up. So 15,000 people dying because of his mandate, his COVID mandate. He said that these people who have COVID need to go back to nursing homes. That was his policy. And because of that, 15,000 people died. 15,000. I mean, if you want to say that every COVID death is on Trump, then you can go state by state and say every COVID death is on that governor. 15,000 people died in nursing homes from his policy. A lot more people died not in nursing homes as well, but 15,000 people died in nursing homes. Now, New York State is the number 4 and probably going to be the last as things continue to move. People continue to flee the state because, quote unquote, the weather's bad. The weather has nothing to do with it, Andy. I mean, very little to do with it. It's your policies, Andy. Whatever. Blame the weather. It's fine. He writes a book on leadership, then blames everybody else for his problems and takes all the credit. All the glory and all the blame. That's true leadership, Andrew. Thank you for writing that book. Next time I need to light a fire, I'll make sure I grab a copy. So he takes all the credit and all the blame because why wouldn't he? As God's gift to governors, and of course his brother on CNN running cover for him. You see it's coming. You see it coming. But the number 4 most populous state and the number 2 highest death rate. Now, again, COVID has been dangerous, been deadly. It's killed a lot of people. It's been horrible. It was 15 days to flatten the curve. It was we have locked down for like 6 weeks, getting situated. Now we're coming up on a year anniversary of that. 1 year anniversary, a year of our lives taken away by the government, telling us we can't do what we want to do. Can't go to concerts. Can't go to sporting events. Can't travel. Can't see relatives. And now we're going to all get a shot, vaccination, and even after the vaccination, we may not be able to do those things. Why get the vaccination? I mean, if we can't go back to normal life, why are we doing these things? Why do we have to get vaccinated if we can't go back to normal life? So, anyways, so back to the Andrew Cuomo thing. So, obviously, governor of New York in my home state, and now Maine has the oldest population in the country. Florida has the second oldest population in the country. Now, the virus has attacked the elderly by a lot. It's the number one factor for dying of COVID is being over 60 years old. The older you are, the more likely you are if you get COVID to die of COVID. Florida has the second oldest population, only to Maine, and their death rate is 26th. So they're right in the middle of the pack. So the third largest state in the country, second oldest state in the country, middle of the pack death rate. Andrew Cuomo, fourth largest state in the country, middle of the pack average age, and second highest death rate. But he did a great job. He's the gold standard. Obviously Joe Biden's endorsement means nothing. He doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't even know words. Words are hard for Joe Biden. So him saying gold standard he probably meant Brown standard, but I mean garbage. Poop standard. Crap standard. So, 15,000 people dying in nursing homes, him lying about it, covering it up. Okay. Here's what I want to talk about. And this is something that is really, I guess, the focal point of this show today. What is wrong? The word wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong. Because wrong should be universal. There shouldn't be wrong today, not wrong tomorrow, wrong because you did this, wrong because you didn't do that. There should be one standard that we can all agree on. If you lie and create policies that are going to cause people, he said, bad government kills people. He was saying that about Trump. Dude, your government killed 15,000 people for no reason. 15,000 senior citizens died in your state because of your policy. That's bad government. A lot of people died. You're right. So, covering that up, he was still considered the greatest thing ever. He was going to be, talking about him being president, talking about him being attorney general, talking about him being vice president. And he covered up all these things. He lied. And guess what? Everybody knew he was lying. 15,000 senior citizens died. He handled COVID one of the worst. And he wrote a book about it. Made money. He locked down people. Said you can't go to work. You can't have your job. You can't hang out with grandma on Christmas. But I'm going to write a book and make money off it. Well, you can't go to work. You can't open your business. I'm going to shut down your business. Permanently. I'm going to permanently shut down your business while I'm giving myself a raise and writing a book that I'm making money off of. So what is wrong? Well, when you lie, and people die because you lied, and they die because of your policies, and you lock things down, COVID policies, they make sense. His doesn't. Joe Biden's doesn't. Joe Biden's COVID policy is whatever the teachers union wants. We don't have to open up schools. As long as the teachers union are happy and they're continue funding my campaign. So Andrew Cuomo lies. 15,000 people died unnecessarily. A lot of other people died in the state as well. I mean, the 15,000 is about 40% of the deaths in the state, roughly. He's done the worst, but wrote a book about how great he is during a pandemic. And if you watch CNN, they for a very long time was how great he was. Now it's taking a little bit of a backseat. But he was a gold thing. He was the greatest thing ever. We all knew he wasn't. We all knew he was lying. We knew Ron DeSantis was great. We knew Kristi Noem was doing a great job. But Ron DeSantis didn't lock everything down and kill the economy, so he's bad. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He balanced it. He didn't just listen to the doctors, and doctors were saying, no, we don't want anybody to ever get sick ever again, so lock everything down until nobody ever dies ever again. That seems like the policy, the standard. The standard is if anybody ever dies of anything ever again, we can't open things up. Things must remain locked down. You must live in your home. You must hide in your home with a mask, 2 masks, 3 masks, 6 masks, until nobody ever dies ever again. Then we'll let you live your life again. But I swear, as soon as that first person dies, we're locking everything down again. I mean, a doctor's job is to keep you from dying, keep them healthy. That's not a president's job. That's not a governor's job. The governor's job is to weigh that with all the other factors. Freedom. And the economy. And all those things. So the governor's job is not, we listen to science, It's good, you should listen to science, but you shouldn't just let the science make the policy for you. The policies have to be balancing everything. Because if you listen to only a doctor, the doctors, if we could keep everything locked down forever, and until nobody ever dies ever again, then the doctors would be happy. Because nobody's ever dying. That's their job. It's their job to keep people from dying. We can't have it only be that. It can't only be that. So all the people dying, the worst governor, one of the worst. I mean, Gavin Newsom did really bad too. He's going to get recalled. He's looking very likely like he's going to get recalled, and that would just be the bee's knees. You know, the Batman villain. He is a cartoon character. He is he just looks like a sleazeball, and he is. He's been caught twice violating his own lockdown orders, going to the French Laundry, and he didn't going to other places for dinner. I didn't eat though. I just went. Okay, cool. Well, you weren't wearing a mask. You're requiring mask mandates, locking out businesses. People get something, go outside. I saw a video. A restaurant owner opened for business. People got the food, left the business, went and sat down on the sidewalk, and ate their food, and they shut down the business in California. The totalitarian psycho Gavin Newsom sent the state liquor authority to shut the business down. How ridiculous! So Andrew Cuomo, all these people get killed, right? And if that was if that was Ron DeSantis, if they found Ron DeSantis lied about COVID deaths, what would happen? What would be the news cycle? That'd be the only thing on the news. You wouldn't be able to turn on the news without hearing Ron DeSantis lie about COVID deaths. But not only that, but now it turns out that this being Cuomo, sexually harassed a handful of women. At least sexually harassed them. It's up to 3. It'll probably be more before it's all done. But the women who came forward, this isn't the first time they're coming forward. They've come forward before saying he's doing this stuff to them. And guess what? They were told to shut up. They were told that they can't say anything. They had to quit their job. They were reassigned to other parts of the government and told that they had to just shut up and just do it. And they became very uncomfortable, and they became in an enigma, and they couldn't do their job effectively, and they had to quit. So this isn't new, right? It's like Hunter Biden. Where's Hunter? Well, we knew before he was being investigated by the FBI, but we couldn't talk about it because it was before the election. Andrew Cuomo was the gold standard. Ron DeSantis is the bad guy before the election. But now that it's safe to talk about it, we can talk about it. We knew it was bad before. What was wrong before. But now it's okay to talk about it because it's safe. Because the person we wanted in the White House is in the White House. We got rid of that orange man. So now we can talk about the bad things that Andrew Cuomo did. And now it's safe. It's always been that way. He's always been a thug. He's always been... He calls up a New York State congressman, a state congressman, and threatens him. His wife and family were shook after he got threatened for daring to speak out against the Führer. And he's burned so many bridges. Of course, nobody's defending him now, right? When all these accusations are coming out, and it's just, it's funny. He's saying he's denying everything. Dude, you lied, and everybody knows you lied. The Me Too movement stuff and the of course he said every woman who accuses a man of sexual harassment should be believed, except of course if you're accusing him or Joe Biden. Obviously, those women shouldn't be believed. Obviously, duh. But if you accuse anybody else, it's politically convenient for me to say that. Then great, and that's our problem, right? There is no standard. There is no standard. It's either everybody. You believe all women who accuse a man of sexual harassment, or you believe no women who accuse a man of sexual harassment, or you believe in due process, right? But it can't be you believe some women, other women you don't believe. It depends on who they're going after. If they're going after somebody we like, then you don't believe them. They're lying. Tara Reid's lying about Joe Biden sexually assaulting her. But when Brett Kavanaugh was accused, obviously Christine Blasey Ford wouldn't lie about something that happened 40 years ago, 30 years ago in a college dorm, when there was no other witnesses around to see it. And I get it, abuse and all that stuff, but if it was that huge of a deal, why did you have to wait 30 years? Why did you wait until now? And with Kavanaugh, they told Nancy Pelosi about it like 8 months before he became nominated for the Supreme Court. If it was such a huge deal, why'd you wait 8 months to bring it out? Why'd you wait 8 months to reveal a story? Because you want to wait till it was most politically advantageous. No, wrong is wrong. Period. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the president's the greatest president in the world. If the president's also a scumbag, the president's also a scumbag. Period. That's it. Well, the president's a scumbag today, but if we can wait 3 more months, we can get him reelected, and then the vice president can take over. And no, right is right, wrong is wrong. Period. Doesn't matter who it is. We have to have a consistent standard, or nothing's ever going to get better. It has to be consistency. It has to be. So now Andrew Cuomo may resign. He's very, very, very arrogant, so he may not. He'll just continue to lie, and honestly, he may still run for re-election, and he may even still win. If he does resign, we'll have Kathy Hochul for the rest of Cuomo's term, and she's a hack. Anyways, she was from Western New York, and she just says yes sir, yes ma'am to all the party bosses. So she doesn't believe anything. She's the definition of an empty suit as well. And I'm disappointed to be from the same part of the world as her. So she'll just say yes sir, yes ma'am, and then when it's time for re-election, she'll bow out. Tish James, Attorney General, become president or governor, and we'll be wishing we had Cuomo back. Because if you think Cuomo's a radical left communist, just wait till Tish James becomes governor. Good Lord. So New York State running directly into the ground by the worst governor in the history of the world, and also simultaneously the highest paid governor in the history of the world. So we'll see what happens here. I'm looking forward to what could possibly come of it, because it's very interesting. Very interesting. This is happening. It's been happening forever. This isn't new. Did Cuomo become a jerk this month? Did he become a sexual predator this month? Of course not. But now that he's not going to be vice president or attorney general or anything like that, and the people who want his job, right, who fell out of favor with him, now we're going to go after. Now we're going to get him out of here. Now we're going to get him. No, he's not going to be no longer governor. We're going to try to end his career because now we don't like him. Well, you should end his career when he was a jerk 20 years ago. That's when you should end his career. But he was your jerk. He's a jerk, but he's our jerk. He sexually harasses women, but he's our governor. We need to take care of him. He'll still take care of us. The corruption is corruption. It doesn't matter if it's corruption in your favor. So we'll see what happens with Andrew Cuomo. I don't know. He may he's gonna hold on a little bit longer. But the winds are certainly pushing towards him not being governor too much longer. And then, can you imagine if Gavin Newsom gets recalled and Andrew Cuomo resigns? The two formerly greatest states in the country, both their governors go out in the same year. Oh, it would just be just wonderful, just joyous. But again, be careful what you wish for, because then just because the enemy doesn't mean the enemy you don't know is better, right? So. We will certainly see. So, New York State, right down the toilet, and I guess that's fun. Last thing I want to talk about here today is cancel culture. It's been something we've been talking about for a while. Everything that anybody disagrees with, people, it's sad because some people are out of jobs, and they have nothing better to do than critique stuff. I sincerely hope all these fools who are canceling everything, that someday their grandkids look at them and cancel them. Or their great-grandkids read about them in a history book and say, my grandfather did what? My grandmother did what? They watched a show that was around for 60 years or 50 years or 40 years and said, oh, now all of a sudden I hate it. Now all of a sudden it's offensive. I saw a cartoon the other day, and it was a mom talking to the kid, and the kid said, can I have that? Whatever item he wanted. And the mom said, say the magic words. And he said, I am offended. That's it. All you do. You want anything, just say you're offended. Say you're offended. Because, the country was founded on life, liberty, and the promise to never be offended. Cancel culture. Let's see. And again, was it canceled? Okay. No, but it's getting, the Muppets are getting a content warning before the show. The Muppets. Amazon had changed their logo on their app because it looked like Hitler. And these people are apologizing and giving these clowns what they want is the problem. You're a fool. You're an idiot. Giving them what they want? Tell them pound sand. GFY. So Muppets are canceled. Big corporations are teaching people to be less white. Can you imagine if it was the other way around? Hey, you should be less Native American today. That's stupid. People are people. Let them be people. Stop putting everybody in boxes. Absolutely stupid. Just stupid. People are getting fired for explaining why you shouldn't say the N-word. Because they say the N-word and then you say you shouldn't say that word because here's why. And they get fired for saying that. Because it hurts my virgin ears. You know, it's funny. The greatest generation, right? The World War I generation. You know, and the baby boomer generation. And went from the baby boomers to we gave way to Gen X. And then Gen X gave way to Gen Y and Gen Z. You know, within a couple generations, the greatest generation gave way to the softest generation. The weakest generation. The saddest generation. So Muppets are canceled. Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head now cannot be Mr. or Mrs. They can be interchangeable. Okay. Dr. Seuss is now racist all of a sudden. Okay. Because something offends you doesn't mean you have to cancel it. You just need to grow with thicker skin. There's going to be things in the world that offend you. There's going to be. It's just the way it is. But it doesn't mean that the culture has to change because something offends you. You just need to get tougher. Cancel culture obviously out of control. Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian for making a comparison to how people get canceled. It's like the Nazi Germany when they made Jews. They basically made neighbors hate them, and then when they wanted to round them up, people didn't really care because they were hated anyways. They were kicked out of society before they were put in concentration camps. She made a comparison to that, and so of course, when you compare, when you say people shouldn't be canceled, you get canceled. It's absolutely everything that they're saying, and the thing is, right, the thing that is ridiculous, beyond ridiculous, right? I mean, the voice of Dr. Hibbert on Simpsons was voiced by a white guy, and he plays a black guy on the screen. So you have to cancel the white guy and replace him with a black guy after 30 years. All of a sudden, 30 years later, I can't hear this voice. Okay? And the actor said the same thing. Gina Carano said, you're acting. You're not supposed to play yourself. Right? If the character is fantastic, if it's acted well, if it's written well, why not give it the character? Right? Who cares? If I disagreed, if I boycotted and protested everything I disagreed with, I wouldn't do anything every day. I'd sit home and look at the walls. Because guess what? People are going to offend you. You're going to be offended. It's okay. Grow up. Grow the hell up. Canceling stuff. How stupid. I don't eat meat, so you can't eat it. I believe the world is this way, so you have to also. Yeah, we should be able to disagree. We should be able to disagree. You know, the recent survey said that the only people who feel comfortable speaking how they actually feel in polite society are the radical left. Because liberals are not aren't liberal enough, aren't radical enough. Conservatives certainly can't speak in public. But cancel culture isn't real. That's it. They'll tell you cancel culture isn't real. If you say anything we don't agree with, you'll be canceled. But cancel culture isn't real. And it's funny because I hear people saying, "Oh, they're a controversial person." Only conservatives are controversial, though. It's weird. If you're a liberal, you're not controversial at all. You can say anything you want. The Ayatollah of Iran, whose goal is to destroy Israel, wipe it off the planet, wipe it off the face of the earth, destroy Israel. Their only plan is the only thing they care about is destroying Israel by any means necessary. He can tweet all day. He's got a Twitter page. But conservatives are being canceled, being removed from it for offensive speech. Fact checkers. I spoke to somebody recently who said they posted on their Facebook the most basic thing, and it got fact checked. It got fact checked because there was context missing. Okay, well, thank you for that. What happened to critical thinking? We can think for ourselves and find out the information. Oh, you know what? Somebody said this, but you know what? It's actually not completely true. There's more to it. Cool. Well, then let's check on that. Let's find that out. Let's do our own research. But no, we can't do our own research. We have to just say there's stuff missing. Okay, well, who are you to say that? Because every single word that's spoken has a bias. You can say Joe Biden stumbled through a speech. You can say Joe Biden eloquently spoke. Both could be the same thing, but your bias comes out. Everything's biased. If you have to fact check something, you have to fact check everything. So that same person who said they posted something very generic on social media and got fact checked, then posted that congratulations Joe Biden for curing cancer, and it's still up with no fact checks, no context needed. Isn't that crazy? Cancel culture. It's exciting. So the idea of cancel culture is if I don't like to do it, you can't do it. That's how the radical left is. I don't like something, so you can't do it. Conservatives, we don't like something, we don't do it. Liberals, if they don't like something, you can't do it. And there used to be a thing called classic liberals, where they would fight for people's rights, even rights they don't agree with, and they're being outshadowed by the radicals. They're being told that if you're a conservative, you don't deserve to exist. I heard there was a talk of dividing the country into 5 separate areas, 5 separate parts of splitting the country into 5. And 5 based on their beliefs and how they see the world. I think that's ridiculous. I think we should all just be able to talk to each other, agree to disagree, have open and honest conversations with each other, and be humble. It's funny they say be less white is to be humble, unless of course you disagree with me. Then my opinion is the one that matters, and you need to shut up. Of course, that's the only exception to the being humble rule, obviously. As you can see, my tongue firmly planted to my cheek. So, cancel culture is real. Don't let me tell you it's not. So that being said, I think I'm going to change the name of this show from the Modern Monologue to Cancel. Cancel this show. I think that's what we'll call it. Cancel this show. Because I don't agree with anything you guys have to say. And go ahead and cancel me. Don't ever apologize for having a different opinion. Even if it's stupid opinion, even if it's uninformed. There's plenty of uninformed idiots out there. That's all I have to say for now. I'll try to get these out again as often as possible, weekly if possible. I hate running too long because I know attention spans and whatnot, but there's so much to go through. I could do another 3 hours, but I think we'll leave it here for now. Be sure to subscribe. If someone says anything, subscribe right on the YouTube channel. Pavement Road Productions on YouTube. Facebook.com/Pavement Road Productions while we still have a Facebook page. I'm Yo Grabba Gab. You can email me directly. pavementroadproductions@gmail.com. We have a lot of shows, a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of fun stuff. So if you can, in the headline or the title of the email, headline email, write Modern Monologue, so I know which show you're referring to. I'm sure I'll be able to get it by your comment, though. Share this, subscribe. We gotta get the word out. We gotta get people talking. And guess what? If you disagree with me, that's great. I hope you do. And I hope you come on here. I hope you debate me. I hope you send me a nasty email, and we'll have a conversation. But because my words hurt your sensitive ears, doesn't give you the right to take away my ability to speak. So I'd love to have dialogue, especially if you disagree with me. I'd love to have dialogue. Be sure to share the post, tell your friends, and you said even if you have liberal friends, conservative friends, they don't hear what I have to say, and we'll debate it, and we'll argue it. And that's great. That's the beauty of it. Beauty of living in a free country. And let's debate while we still have that opportunity. So again, subscribe, like our YouTube channel, subscribe so you get all the updates, all our shows. Email the show paperproduction@gmail.com. And it's at facebook.com/paperproductions as well. I'll be back soon with more. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing this post. And until next time, take care.